It's a trap!
Welcome back to the Rumor and Theory Review brought to you by Star Wars Newsnet and the Resistance Broadcast patrons. I'm John. Welcome back, everybody. This week we're going to tackle one pretty significant rumor for diehard fans and a theory that's been going around that would involve a pretty big retcon to the original trilogy. So first, I do want to start off by thanking all of the Resistance Broadcast patrons. Your support is the reason I'm able to do these videos. It takes a lot of time between the podcast, 2 episodes a week, the Mando fan show that we're doing, a lot of other stuff we're doing for content on the Patreon page exclusively, and the Star Wars Newsnet YouTube channel. So thank you all for your support. It really means a lot. And it's the reason I can be here with you guys right now. So we have a great show here. Let's get into the first rumor right now. Here we go. Okay, so the rumor is that there is a rumored live-action series heading to Disney Plus or in development for Disney Plus about Dr. Aphra. Now, some of you watching this may be saying, who is Dr. Aphra? Exactly. I know a lot of you diehard fans who are watching this know who Dr. Aphra is. She is featured in a series run on the Marvel Comics for Star Wars, employed by Darth Vader. She's a little bit like an Indiana Jones, if Indiana Jones was in Star Wars, kind of like a archaeologist, kind of treasure hunter, that sort of thing. Even I don't know that much about the character, and I obviously talk about Star Wars multiple times a week. So that kind of brings me to my point. I can't buy this rumor that there's a series in development about Dr. Aphra. You know, I know the comics are popular with a lot of diehard readers, but if you look at the grand scale of Star Wars fans in general, from casual watchers who just watch the movies, all the way down to the most diehard of diehards, which I would consider myself, I would say it's fair to say only 5 to maybe 10% max Star Wars fans know much about who Dr. Aphra is. And that's not to offend the people who know who she is. I'm just talking about the facts. Not a huge percentage of Star Wars fans read the comics, and even fans who do read the comics, not all of them even read the ones that she's featured in. So take that there and say, would Disney want to invest upwards of $80 million for a TV series budget on Disney Plus, which is just starting with The Mandalorian, and dedicate it to this character? I can't buy that. I can't buy that at all. And then I want to, compare it to existing series. So The Mandalorian was a tough sell for a lot of fans. Even today, I bet you yourself, as you're sitting around, say your Thanksgiving dinner table, or the holidays next month, you're going to have family members who like Star Wars, who just got Disney Plus as a gift, and they're watching and they're saying, The Mandalorian, is that the guy from Empire Strikes Back with the helmet? Is that what's his name, Boba Fett? And then you have to explain, no, that's not Boba Fett. It's the same armor because it's from the planet Mandalore, and that's what they wore. And you'd have to get into the explanation of who the Mandalorian is. So even the Mandalorian itself, which is even more known by fans based on the connection with the armor to Boba Fett, Jango Fett, that sort of thing, is still tough to explain to a lot of fans. I think Dr. Aphra is 10 times harder to sell on people and explain what that is and what her significance is and that sort of thing. So you really, when you think about these series and how they're made, you have to branch out beyond our crazy diehard fan tunnel vision and spread the net wide to all Star Wars fans. Think about that Thanksgiving table. Look around. Think about all your family members who might like Star Wars. And they'd be like, Dr. Aphra, what? So that's one big reason why I don't think it's happening. And then, take the other existing shows. Cassian Andor. That was a $1 billion movie, Rogue One. It makes sense to maybe make a Cassian Andor series. People proved that they know who he is now. It's established. But even that show is apparently having big problems with production. They're bringing back Tony Gilroy, who pretty much gutted Rogue One, rewrote and reshot and redid a lot of the movie. Gareth Edwards just happened to play ball, unlike Lord Miller, and he took his paycheck, put his name at the beginning of the credits, and went on his way, laid in a pool float, had a good time. And then you have the Kenobi series. Come on. No comparison there. This is what fans have been wanting forever. It's a completely different animal than, say, a Dr. Aphra series. So this is why I'm really having a hard time with this rumor. I don't think it's true at all. And the other thing, when you write rumor pieces and you want to cover yourself, you always give yourself an out. So it's a little tip there. And the out here is that, well, it's possible that she's not necessarily getting her own series, but could be featured in another series. So this is what happens then. If for some reason at any point down the line, Dr. Aphra pops up as a cameo or an Easter egg in some series in live action, there's the validation for the story. So, of course, the headline's going to say Dr. Aphra is getting a live-action series in development. Rumor, live-action series for Dr. Aphra in development. And then you put the little thing at the bottom. Well, it's possible she can be a cameo somewhere down the line. If you really believe in the story and the rumor and you're going to run it and say, I think this might have some legs, you're not going to put that little sprinkle at the end there. You're going to believe in what you were told. You still report it as a rumor. But yeah, guys, I can't get behind Dr. Aphra having a live-action series on Disney+. There's just so many other things Disney can approach to make a good series. Make Solo 2 happen? That makes a lot of sense to me. I would even think Ahsoka Tano live action has a better shot than Dr. Aphra. And again, to be clear, this is no insult to Dr. Aphra at all. I know the character is beloved by fans who enjoy that series, and it is a great, creative, original, new, fresh character. I just don't think it fits here, especially when you talk about these big budget series that can get upwards of $80 million for production. So I got to pass on that one. So next, let's move on to a theory that's been going around lately. It has to do with Yoda and, spoiler alert, Baby Yoda, which we call Tiny on the Mando fan show, standing for This Is Not Yoda. Okay, so a lot of people are pointing back to things that they could potentially retcon from the original trilogy. I know it's fun to try to tie in new content with old content to make that connectivity, make things a little more feel a little more real and balanced story-wise. But this one has to do with Yoda saying, "No, there is another" in Empire Strikes Back after Obi-Wan says, "That boy is our last hope," referring to Luke Skywalker. Obviously, at the time, we didn't know, if you're watching for the first time, you didn't know that Yoda was talking about Leia, which it turns out he was. But now fans are thinking, is it possible that Yoda could have been talking about Rey? Is it possible now he could have been talking about this baby Yoda? Which I have joked about, but I wasn't serious. So let me just quickly say that I don't think that they're going to do any kind of retcon here about this. It's definitely a fun theory. I like it a lot. I like having fun with these sorts of things. So keep doing it. I think it's great. I do it. So I'm not saying let's not have fun with theories. I just think in this one instance, this particular theory changing that from Leia is bad optics. The first reason being that, Carrie Fisher has passed away. It obviously was written as being about Leia. If you retcon that and marginalize Leia as a character by taking that away from her as the other hope, that's just a bad look, especially now that Carrie's gone. To diminish Leia as a character to fit a new story for a new character back into the original trilogy isn't worth it. And I don't think they would ever do that. So for that big reason, I don't think they're changing it. And then, the other stuff, obviously, being about Rey, I don't think, Yoda would have had the foresight yet. She wouldn't even have been born at that point. Difficult to see the future is when it's people let alone people who aren't even alive yet. And then being about little Yoda, I don't know that they would want to change the original trilogy's story arcs and story, themes and values and the payoff in Return of the Jedi, Leia being the second one, Luke's sister, to try to up the value of the Mandalorian. I don't think they would do that. So while I love the theory and I've had fun joking around about it, like what if Yoda was talking about Baby Yoda, I still think Yoda saying no, there is another is still about Leia. It will always be about Leia because it's silly to change that and marginalize Leia as a character, as I just said. All right, guys, so that is it. Let me know in the comments what you think about my take on the rumor about a Dr. Aphra series for Disney Plus, and my take on the theory that maybe Yoda was talking about someone other than Leia when he said, no, there is another. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. The Star Wars Newsnet YouTube channel is going to constantly be growing. We have a lot of new content, a lot of new ideas aimed for 2020, all the way leading up to Celebration and beyond, and of course, the new wave of Star Wars content. So again, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. You can find me on the Resistance broadcast on Monday morning and on StarWarsNewsNet.com. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey. Thank you once more to the Resistance broadcast patrons and Star Wars Newsnet. And as always, we'll see you around, kids.